Hi there, welcome. You're with Jennifer Frost, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Australia, and today I'm showing you this beautiful card featuring the You've Got This flower and a bit of a messy, out of the lines watercolouring technique. I've featured the brand new in colours in this design. We've got the Lemon Lime Twist and Berry Burst. It's really fun to play with new in colours, and this was a card that I featured in my classes last weekend. A way to show the ladies a little bit of what's to come with the launch of the new catalogue. To get started, I've got a piece here of shimmery white cardstock. I really like the shimmery white for colouring like this. It's got a really nice smooth finish and it doesn't buckle as much as the Whisper White does. Get my clear block. It's a weekday morning here in Australia and I've got a man across the road mowing his lawn, and the dog in that yard is not very impressed, so you might hear a bit of barking in the background. There's also a house being built a little bit up the road, so you might hear some sawing and hammering and construction sounds as well. Not as lovely and peaceful as the birds I've had in the past, but we have got to work with what we've got. Alright, so I'm popping that there on the corner in Stays On Black. Pop the lid back on. And I'm going to start with my aqua painter. Alright, so I'm going to use my scratch paper to make sure that's nice and clean before I get started. And I'm adding just a swash of water to that. And then I'm going to use a little bit of powder pink. And now I'm going to layer with the Berry Burst. I like to start a little bit lighter. I feel like it's easier to add colour than it is to take it away. Just roughly applying it first to where we'd like it to be deepest. And blending it in. Obviously, as the aqua painter applies ink, the impression gets a little bit lighter. Helps us get that graduation of colour. There, I'm quite happy with that. Now I want to really bring some of that colour into the halo around the flower with our messy watercoloured look. I'm going to make sure that I've got quite a bit of water in my palette. I'm just going to come back out. Just want this to be a very soft effect. And then it doesn't hurt to put just a bit of a spritz. And then you've got those watery blotches that are going to resist the ink and pull that back as it dries. While we're waiting for that ink to kind of settle, just do a little bit more here. I'm going to do the same technique, but this time with the green. So now that I've got a clean brush, going back over the green leaves, and I've got that vibrant lemon lime twist from the new in colours that are being released in the new catalogue. And same thing, I'm just going on very lightly, haphazard. Now I'm going to just get myself a little bit more ink. Go back through to deepen some of those areas on the leaves. Now the last thing that I did with the aqua painter was add a few little drops with the colour. And as that dries, that's going to drop and spread a little bit. We can do the same with our berry burst. That's a bit bigger than I was hoping for. I'll try that again. So that's basically it. Once it dries, you can start to add a little bit more shadowing and shading, because the colours, while it's wet, the colours are really going to keep blending. But if you want to get that definition, if you can see there, we've got one blend here and then it's dried and we've added that little extra shading. That's not going to happen while it's all wet. And the reason being that while it's damp, the colours are likely just to keep blending back through. Alright, the last thing I did on that flower was add a touch of gold. Alright, so I've got my Wink of Stella in gold. This particular pen has not carried over into the new catalogue. The clear one has though. So what you could do is use your aqua painter and apply a little bit of a yellow tone into the centre, and then when it's dry, add a little bit of the clear Wink of Stella over the top to give you that sparkle. But because I've got this one here on hand, I'm just going to show you the gold. Now, as that dries, you're going to notice that the colour becomes a lot more subtle. At this point, you might want to go back over and add a little bit more depth. And if you can wait overnight for it to dry, that's ideal, but if not, the heat tool comes in handy for giving things a bit of a dry. You'll see that after all that colouring and drying, the paper does end up a little bit warped. I don't know if you can see. Now, what's really good is to pop it under a really heavy book, or even I've slid mine in between some cutting pads and popped it in the Big Shot overnight to allow it to sit flat. So I've got this really heavy book. I'm going to sit it in that book for a few hours and then I'm going to come back and finish this tutorial for you. Alright, so I'm back. This panel has been sitting for several hours under that really heavy book and it's much flatter than it was. So now we're just going to layer it onto some white. I didn't initially have a white mat, but I was looking at it and I said to my friend Susan, I don't think that this is quite right. And she said, pop a mat in behind and it'll be perfect. And I thought, okay, I'll do that. And I was much happier once I had that mat on. Having the mat on the back also is going to have the benefit of helping that piece be a lot less wavy. It's going to give it a little bit more structure. And now a little bit of an embellishment. I've got these lovely metallic doilies. Just need my scissors. Here we are. I'm going to stick that in the top. And of course, it's nice to have a sentiment. I really liked these for this design because the fonts are really feminine and curved, but they're also nice and compact, perfect for sticking on a banner at the top. Now I had For You, but I might actually make this a happy birthday one so you can see a little bit of a difference. Now of course this stamp set I believe is now retired, but there's heaps of different sentiment sets in the catalogue that you can choose from. Actually I might just stamp that one more time. A little hair or something there. There we go. I'm going to use my paper trimmer to just cut that down a little bit. Going to tail the end. I want it to still be quite long at the top because I'm going to add a little bit of twine up there. Maybe just straighten that cut a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to sit that on dimensionals. And then to finish I need a little bit more gold. I'm just tying back in with the gold I've used in the centre and the little touch of gold in the doily. Trim those tails there. I hate when they fold back in. And I'm going to attach that up there with a little piece of tear and tape adhesive. Here we are. Push any exposed adhesive just in behind. And there we have it. Now I promised that I would show you an alternate colour scheme for that one, and for my alternate I chose to sub in the fresh fig, so the purpley tones, and I will take photographs of those and pop them up to share with you in my newsletter. So a very big thank you to everyone who has signed into my newsletter, opted in to be subscribed. I am so pleased that you're interested in my news, and I hope that you've enjoyed this project and that you'll enjoy more projects to come. I hope it inspires you. Thank you. Bye.